Question I have, since we actually have everyone from Running Wolf and all the way to Samurai, how does it feel? You know, how did it feel coming in? I mean, I guess also you can just say how did it feel being the first, but how did it feel coming into taking up this mantle? Being the new Pink Ranger, being the new Yellow Ranger, being the new Red Ranger, and being the new Blue Ranger.
Well, I didn't know the show until I was cast in it, so I didn't really understand the magnitude of, because it was really coming into its peak when I came on the show. And when I arrived, these guys were touring, doing their press junkets, and the movie was about to come out. So I kind of walked into this phenomenon. And Kimberly was very popular, and so I was very aware of that and very respectful of that. And I just didn't know, from day to day whether they were going to keep me or not. It would depend on how well I was accepted. And I think the fact that they went so opposite with Amy and I was probably a good thing. But I had good shoes to fill, and I think she was amazing. So I'm just glad that I was accepted. And I had fun. I just tried to make her... Stop pulling focus, Walter. Are you done? Can you give me up again?
Did you say something?
Yes, I did. And I didn't use my theater voice. I used my mommy voice. No, I love Walter. I didn't know Power Rangers when I auditioned for it. And I had 5 auditions, which is kind of not typical. So when I finally got on the show, I was pretty excited. I was beyond excited because I was still, I was at UCLA at the time. I was my junior year, so I was still going to school and trying to film, and literally God got me through. I graduated while I was still on the show, so I was very excited. I didn't know Karen at the time. I knew that I was coming in after her, who I just absolutely adore now. But I was really, really excited to be a part of this, and I would have never thought 15 years later that we have such a great audience like you guys. Thank you so much.
Well, for me it was really tough because it's like I knew like the Red Ranger was the leader. I watched the show like before I came on the show. And I used to watch it and be like, I can do what those guys do. I can do flips, I can do karate. But I did not realize, like how hard it was going to be. And then it was kind of like a waking for me because when they cast me on the show, they made me wear this muscle suit underneath the Red Ranger suit. They wanted me to try to be like more muscular, so I had this like padded suit. So anytime you saw me in the Red Ranger costume, I had a muscle suit underneath it. So anyway, so I was like, oh man, how am I going to compete with this guy? He's like, he's the big, he's this big guy, he's like this big figure, and I just didn't know how I was going to do it. But I just said the only way to do it is to try to be different than he was. But they kept putting me in the sleeveless shirts with the red, the red flag shirts, and I was like, I don't know. But I kind of found my own character really when it became Zeo. I think that's when I kind of got wings, I guess, a little bit.
But he had guns though, so he still got it. When I walked.
Just get something out of my bag.
I'll wait for it to be done.
How many pictures?
I'm done. No, it was, Power Rangers was new. We didn't know anything about it, and we didn't know anything about it. And character Zach was a character that was developed from nothing. So it was really cool to develop the character as a guy. It took a minute to figure out how could you make this guy is fighting monsters and he's dancing. How do you make that work? And I was like, okay, well he's just got to be so skilled. He's got to be like capoeira or something, and like. He's got to know this form of art and be very confident in what he's doing to be able to hit him in the turn 3 times. So with pop locking and everything else, all the skills I had as far as being a dancer, martial artist, and doing gymnastics, it was just really cool to be able to develop that character and make Zach was very cool. He's the kind of guy who was a friend to everybody, and strong and confident and ready to fight. You know,
Awesome,
he was always like, I'm Zach here, I'm ready to roll. So he was always ready to be down and be there for everybody. And that's kind of who I am. So it's cool.
Well, for me, I wanted to be an actress, and I had recently, right before the show, I was in a singing group, and the group we'd kind of broken up. So I was just like, man, I really got to get into this acting thing. And a friend of mine called me and said, you need to go to this audition. It's for this kids show, and I'd never seen the show. And I remember showing up to the audition, and there was like a line wrapped around the building. And I was like, are you kidding me? We'll be here all day. And something inside of me just said, just go. What else do you have to do today? You know?